Well, good evening. You know I love these challenges, I really do. And so, Gary's Diecast, um, excuse me, Gary's Diecast collection, our friend Gary, who did the live last Saturday that resulted in two challenges, the van challenge and then the four-door sedan challenge. Well, Gary's wife was very cool and helped him with all the behind the scenes stuff. She was like a producer, for a TV show. And so I think it's really great that the two of them were, you know, working the room, right? And she's helping him. So she apparently suggested, hey, well, why don't you guys do, your favorite cars from the year or decade that you were born? And this is like manna from heaven for me. Why, you say? Because I was born in the best decade and in the arguably the best year. Well, because I was born, and I have a lot of vehicles from that year. So we're going to start with, and I've got a lot of them up here, but I'm just going to show one actually. I've got the 1965 Shelby Cobra 427 SC, and I'm not going to show all 13 of my Cobras. I have 6 of them there as a background. I'm just going to show my old favorite classic one, the Hot Wheels 100% from, the year 2000 or so. I have had this for ages. I bought its sibling there recently, and I have my Kyosho and my Malibu International and Johnny Lightning and Matchbox Superfast. So there you have it. 1965 was an awesome year. And of course, these are some of my favorite cars. So there goes my Cobras, 6 of the 13 or so that I have. Here's another one, because it was just too easy to go for the Cobras. I have this 1965 Ford Econoline truck pickup. So the Econoline came out, I believe, in 1961. And originally, when it came out, it was called the Falcon. In the late 50s and early 1960s, Ford was considering doing sub-brands. I mean, so you had Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. And of course, you had Edsel for a few years, about 5 years. They had thought of making Thunderbird a sub-brand, having different models, 2 doors, 4 doors, and so forth. They toyed with the idea of doing Mustang as a sub-brand, and they toyed with the idea of using Fairlane as not Falcon, excuse me, as a sub-brand. And that one was as a direct result of the Chevrolet Corvair. So while the Econoline vans didn't share much parts, I mean, with a Falcon, they were about Falcon size. But then again, all of the vans from the 3 major American companies were about this size and shape. If you look at the early 1960s, the Dodge A100, I forget what they called the Chevy van, and GMC, but they all basically had this almost cab over look to them, and all with the engines basically between the driver's seat. This is the M2. I love this one. This is very nicely detailed. I mean, even with the spare tire mounted in the bed like that, right there. So this is a nicely detailed, authentic model. The M2 65 Ford Econoline. I'm sure you're expecting me to roll out a whole bunch of 65 Mustangs, so I won't disappoint. I have a ton of '65 Mustangs from Hot Wheels. I mean, that recent pony car set here is that '65 Mustang 2+2. And of course, that is one, two, three, four, five of these castings. In fact, I just got another one from Big Dat Pacino. So we won't spend a lot of time on those '65 Mustangs, or even my Johnny Lightning '65 Mustangs, hardtop coupe, and convertible. And my Greenlight '65 Mustang from the movie Fright Night. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on those. I will move some of those out of the way to make some space. Put these ones over here. So what else do I have from 1965? Well, funny you should ask. So of course, the 1965 Ford Galaxy, this one from the main line last year in the Flames series, which, you know, I love this one. And of course, I have two of those from Greenlight. This white one here, which is a civilian version. And I picked this one up loose on eBay, rather inexpensively, so I don't know what series it's from. It's an older casting, so 2005, 1965 Ford Galaxy. It's number 120. It's an older one. The Greenlight casting number is number 31. So it was one of their earlier castings. And I have that in the... so it doesn't have the name of the police department on the side, but if I remember, this is from County Roads, and I believe it's an Ohio State Trooper Galaxy 500. I love my Galaxy 500s. So I have several of those, including this 50th anniversary Hot Wheels Premium in the Gulf livery. Sensing a theme here. I love Ford. I love Gulf. So, two more 1965 Mustangs. This one from Shelby American Collectibles is the Shelby GT350. This is probably the most highly detailed 65 Mustang in my collection. If you look in there, the detailed engine, the strut tower brace across, lens headlights, very nice tampo and detail work there. These very authentic racing rims, the stripes, and the Shelby American Collectibles. The door opens, a pretty decent interior. Painted taillights here. Of course, metal body, metal chassis, rubber tires. This is a sweetheart. And for those that are interested in picking up something like this, I think I have mentioned it before. I have the Shelby American Collectibles GT350, the Shelby Cobra 427, and the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. I bought as a 3-car set on eBay, and I saw the 3-car set listed for $35 recently. So it's not tough to find if you're interested. I think it's a great set to have. And of course, I also have a similar GT350 from Greenlight, and this is very nice. Painted details, opening hood, nicely detailed engine, metal chassis, metal base, metal body. This I picked up last year with the Shelby Anniversary collection from Greenlight. And so as not to go too long and too repetitive, another technically not a Ford, not even an American car, from 1965. The 1965 Sunbeam Tiger from Johnny Lightning. So this is from the British Invasion, 1998, playing Mantis, casting number is that 651 or 551? I've had this for an awful long time, probably close to 20 years. These Sunbeam Tigers were made by a company called, part of the Roots Group in the UK. So they were also known as the Alpine Sunbeam. That would have been the original version of these. These are from the early 1960s. And the Sunbeam Tiger was a version of this that used an American, a Ford 260 cubic inch V8, and they were contemporaries of the Shelby Cobras, meaning they were made at the same time, but they didn't serve the same purpose. The Cobra is a raw, brutish race car, and this is a nice British touring roadster with roll-up windows and a pull-up top. It had plenty of power from the original 260 and then 289. They did not sell in huge numbers, but they are very collectible. I don't mean the Johnny Lightning, I mean the real car. They're beautiful. So I could pull out more. Obviously, I have many more Cobras. I have more 65 Mustangs, but that would be beating a dead horse. This was a fun challenge to me. Yes, very heavy with Fords. I was actually on the phone with my brother, who seems to know my collection as well as I do, and he says, well, don't you have a Chevelle? No, I have a 64 Chevelle. I have a 67 Impala. I don't actually have any 1965 General Motors or Chrysler or I don't know. I have 68 Pontiac, and I could have done the decade, but we'd be here all night. So thank you to Gary and his wife for the challenge. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. I look forward to seeing everybody's videos. I saw somebody comment, that they just had buckboards when they were born, joking. But this is a good challenge because basically, even our younger members of the community can do it. Say you're 12 years old and you're making, diecast videos. They made 12 cars 12 years ago, 2008. I'm sure you could find, a casting from 2008, or as Gary's wife allowed, the decade. If you're born in the 90s, you were born in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. I mean, there are 32 Fords, there are 40 Fords. There were 1930s castings, there were 1940s castings, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. This is one I think everybody can do with a little bit of wiggle room. So, thank you for watching. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary's wife. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. What do you think of the year I was born? Was a great year. For cars, too. All right, have a good night.